You can throw boom at the same time. As he punches, boom, you go down.
Absolutely.
It's all about moving after you punch. As soon as you punch, you're gone.
I think Gervonta Davis is probably the greatest fighter around now.
And that's what'll wind up selling it. The what if. What if Tank makes him do a cha-cha? He hits him on the chin, and Jake Paul, we're going to find out if he can dance. Whoa, 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 whoa. You know, do the cha-cha. What if this guy who is a real good puncher, who is one of the best fighters in the world right now, what if he hits him? What if he makes a miss and he counters him? Or he jumps up in the air. Jump up in the air. Bang! And he hits him. Sid Terrace was a great fighter.
Who is the biggest star in boxing?
He pushed me. Tank pushed me. I'm not even kidding. I was just standing there after the press conference and he straight up shoved me. Look at me. My makeup is ruined. My eyes are burning. I'm so done with this.
Mike Tyson and Teddy Atlas deliver a powerful breakdown of the Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul matchup, setting the stage for what could be one of the most explosive fights in recent boxing history. Firstly, rumors are swirling that Mike Tyson has joined Gervonta Tank Davis in his training camp ahead of the highly anticipated fight with Jake Paul. The boxing world is already buzzing as footage shows Tyson on the pads, breaking down exactly how Tank plans to dismantle Jake. Tyson didn't hold back his praise either, calling Davis a true dog in the ring and an elite puncher, confidently predicting that Tank is everything it takes to outbox Jake Paul.
You can throw boom at the same time. As he punches, boom, you go down.
Absolutely.
It's all about moving after you punch. As soon as you punch, you're gone.
I think Gervonta Davis is probably the greatest fighter around now, but he's got a tough fight coming up. You know, he's the top dog. There's no doubt about it. He showed that.
Now, if you know what you're looking at, the guy must be around 150 right now, 153, something like that. And you can really tell when he's sideways.
The anticipation for Gervonta Tank Davis versus Jake Paul is already skyrocketing. Fans have been stunned by Tank's intense training footage, and many can't stop talking about his noticeably bulked up physique. Even veteran analysts have weighed in, expressing shock at his power and conditioning. Some have gone as far as to predict that Tank could knock Jake Paul out, even at 160 pounds. They praised his dedication in camp and confidently declared that his training points to one clear outcome: Jake Paul getting knocked out once they meet in the ring.
Yep, he'll be knocking on 160. Yep. Gervonta Tank Davis, it's my prediction that Gervonta Tank Davis is going to weigh in on the night of the fight against Jake Paul, knocking on 160 pounds. Don't be surprised if he's 157 pounds, something like that. You guys see this footage? Look at Tank. Now, if you know what you're looking at, the guy must be around 150 right now, 153, something like that. And you can really tell when he's sideways. When you look at him sideways.
During his latest training sessions, Gervonta Tank Davis has been turning heads with the sheer power behind his punches. Every time he hits the pads, the sound echoes through the gym. A clear reminder of the force he's bringing into this fight. The energy, the precision, and the intensity all point to a fighter locked in and ready for war. It's no surprise that fans and analysts alike are taking notice, especially with Tank looking sharper and stronger than ever as the Jake Paul showdown draws closer. But as the hype builds, more voices from the boxing world have stepped in, and none carry more weight than Teddy Atlas. The legendary trainer and analyst didn't hold back when he shared his thoughts on how this fight could unfold.
And that's what'll wind up selling it. The what if. What if Tank makes him do a cha-cha? He hits him on the chin, and Jake Paul, we're going to find out if he can dance. Whoa, 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 whoa. You know, do the cha-cha.
According to Atlas, people might be underestimating just how real Gervonta Davis's knockout power is, even against someone much bigger like Jake Paul. He explained that Tank might need to reach up a bit to land the perfect shot, but if that punch connects, it could be lights out. In Atlas's eyes, Davis's compact frame and sharp technique give him a real chance to shock everyone. He might be the smaller man, but when it comes to precision and timing, few in boxing can match what Tank brings to the table.
A ladder? Can I get a ladder? Somebody? You know what I mean? Hey, look, if he hits him on the chin the way he can punch, Jake might be doing a dance. You know what I mean? Not voluntarily either.
Atlas emphasized that Davis doesn't need size to win, he needs skill. He reminded fans that Tank has spent his career mastering the art of delivering clean, explosive shots that end fights instantly. And if he can time Jake Paul's movements right, the difference in weight might not even matter. However, Atlas didn't completely write off Jake Paul either. He admitted that anyone can be knocked out if the punch lands perfectly, especially in boxing where one mistake can end everything in a split second.
You do have one guy who, yeah, he's smaller, but he's a top fighter, he can punch, and he's fighting a guy who's not a top pro fighter, who's bigger. What if he hits him on the chin? What if he hits him on the chin? It'll wind up selling. And that's what'll wind up selling it. The what if. What if Tank makes him do a cha-cha? He hits him on the chin, and Jake Paul, we're going to find out if he can dance. Whoa, 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 whoa. You know, do the cha-cha. That's what's going to sell it. And you can't argue that what if. You can't. I know I get to places that other people won't go and everything else that just...
That's where Atlas sees the gap. In his eyes, Jake might have developed his strength and conditioning impressively, but the technical depth and refined instincts of a lifelong fighter like Tank Davis are on another level. It's the small details, the timing, the angles, the setups that can make all the difference once the bell rings.
It's Rocky 3. I wrote it down, Rich. And Rich just gave me the thumbs up. And Rocky 3, man... Rocky 3.
My favorite out of all the Rocky movies, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, Clubber Lang, wow. So that's what it made me think of. When they got in the center of the ring and you had Hulk Hogan.
He went on to suggest that the smaller fighter might actually hold a better chance here, precisely because he's the more experienced and technically superior boxer. Jake might be bigger and stronger on paper, but according to Atlas, power means little if it doesn't find its target. And with someone as fast and defensively sharp as Davis, that's not going to be easy.
But that's true. That what if? What if this guy who is a real good puncher, who is one of the best fighters in the world right now, what if he hits him? What if he makes a miss and he counters him? Or he jumps up in the air. Bang! And he hits him. Sid Terrace was a great fighter. No, not the 1700s, but years ago. And Customato told me he loved Sid Terrace. He said, Teddy, he used to jump up in the air and hit you with 3 jabs. I said, whoa, man, Sid Terrace. All right. Anyway, look, I can't finish without saying that it did invoke some memories and thoughts.
Still, as the fight gets closer, not everyone is counting Jake Paul out. Even former UFC champion Tyron Woodley, who shared the ring with Paul himself, stepped up to warn Davis not to overlook the YouTuber turned boxer. He said, even though Tank is a powerful puncher, you're going up to fighting somebody at 195 pounds. It's a whole different level of power, and you gotta be able to get close to him. His reach advantage is gonna have you by at least 5 or 6 inches, and Jake's smart enough to keep you away from him. Woodley's message was simple. Take Jake seriously. He explained that while Tank's pedigree and experience make him the favorite, Jake Paul has something that shouldn't be ignored: hunger. That relentless motivation to prove the world wrong, to show that he belongs in the same conversation as the elite. And when a fighter carries that chip on his shoulder, anything can happen. He said, my advice to Tank, I would say take Jake seriously. Woodley pointed out that Jake isn't just another celebrity dabbling in boxing anymore. He's a 195-pound athlete with real punching power and solid fundamentals, refined over years of training with world-class coaches. For Tank Davis, who's been dominant at 135 pounds, that's a big jump in size and power to deal with.
Hi babes, I'm literally just beating this face right now. Press conference glam for Tank Davis, I'm so excited.
Who is the biggest star in boxing?
He pushed me. Tank pushed me. I'm not even kidding. I was just standing there after the press conference and he straight up shoved me. Look at me. My makeup is ruined. My eyes are burning. I'm so done with this. Do you hear me?
That's what makes this fight so fascinating. It's not just a size difference, it's a clash of styles, mindsets, and motivations. One fighter carries years of professional experience and raw knockout ability in smaller divisions, while the other brings size, reach, and the confidence of a man who's defied the odds every time he's stepped into the ring. Woodley's words carried extra weight, especially coming from someone who's fought Jake himself. He knows firsthand how dangerous Paul can be when underestimated. His message to Davis was clear. This isn't a fight you coast through, you have to respect your opponent or boxing will humble you.
You guys told me that Gervonta Tank Davis is just taking this fight for a payday. He's just trying to get to the bag. Well, you got the fight itself, which is a payday, and you got a KO bonus on top of that, a big bonus. That's what Jake Paul said.
They're gonna get a big bonus.
And they got a side bet of $2 million.
Let's make it 2.
Y'all gonna shake on it?
Yeah.
Shake on it?
Shake on it.
$2 mil? 2 mil?
2 mil. Let's do
2
it.
mil. Go get it shake.
Oh, they're shaking left here.
2 mil. There we go.
Oh my.
Why not hit the entire bag?
But on the other side of the ring, Gervonta Davis seems more focused and grounded than ever. After a roller coaster year filled with distractions and personal challenges, Tank opened up about his mental health ahead of this fight, saying that his current headscape is the best it's been in years. He explained that his mindset is now sharper, calmer, and more disciplined. And for him, that's the most important thing heading into any battle.
We come from 2 different sides, like, of the world. We still on the same path to get the same thing. You know, I gotta be in there with him. I gotta be able to, you know, his arm reach, his size, his power, the way he moving and things like that. I just gotta adapt as I fight him. I think it's gonna be a great event. Every time I fight is fireworks. Boxing wins come November the 14th. We just giving boxing what it needs.
The energy around him in camp has been electric. Training footage shows a man dialed in, explosive, and hungry to make a statement. And while the talk around size and reach continues, Tank's sharpness and power have left many convinced that he can close the distance and land something Jake won't see coming. Interestingly, even Jake Paul has admitted something rare, that he's scared. Speaking to reporters, he confessed that this is the most nervous he's ever been heading into a fight. Despite all his confidence and preparation, he recognizes that Tank Davis is no joke. He knows that one mistake against someone with Tank's speed and timing could end the night instantly. He said, "I think there's a lot of things out there about the size, but I think people forget that Tank is a top 10 pound-for-pound fighter. He's got power in both hands and skill-wise and technique-wise has been doing this for so long. Actually, internally, I'm the most scared going into a fight that I've actually ever been. But at the same time, fear can be fuel. For Jake, that sense of danger might be what pushes him to stay sharp and disciplined. He's aware that Tank's not like any opponent he's faced before. This isn't a retired MMA fighter or a mid-level boxer. This is a pound-for-pound elite talent, someone who has been built for the sport since childhood." And that's exactly why this matchup has everyone's attention. You've got a proven world champion stepping up in weight to prove that skill can overcome size. And across from him, you've got a rising star who's built his career on shocking the world, one punch at a time. Teddy Atlas's technical breakdown and Mike Tyson's warning have added even more layers to the story. Both know what it takes to survive in combat sports, and both agree that this fight could go either way if the wrong move is made.
I gotta ask you, Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. Does Davis have a chance?
Gervonta is a boxer, but he ain't gonna be.
So you got Jake Paul by knockout, or?
No, I don't got anybody, but I don't think.
He's just too small.
It just. I don't want to beat up somebody that small. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
What do you think of the
and I
fight?
don't want to lose to somebody that. There's no point in the fight. It's a great fight, actually.
You think
I'm
it's a
not
good
hating
fight?
on the fight, but I think my thoughts on it is let's watch it and see what happens.
Ryan Garcia said that boxing's turning into WWE.
Yeah,
with that type of matchup. Do you agree? Last thing, White House card, like he said.
As the countdown to November 14th continues, the buzz keeps growing. The Cassis Center in Miami is set to host not just another celebrity fight, but a true test of power versus precision, youth versus experience, and self-belief versus proven greatness.
Jake Paul versus Tank Davis, they just announced the fight. What's your instant reaction to that?
I don't know what's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder. I think it's not a real fight. Jake just too big. Tank ain't gonna be able to get in from that jab. Jake land one good punch on Tank, it's over with.
For Gervonta Davis, it's a chance to show that size doesn't define skill, that his speed, precision, and explosiveness can break through any wall. For Jake Paul, it's another opportunity to rewrite the rules of boxing and prove that the unthinkable is possible.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this. My point still stands where it stands. Jake Paul wins this fight. I already bet Gervonta Davis in the DMs. We locked the bet. Guys, it's obvious Jake wins this fight. If you guys know anything about fighting, you know about weight classes. You know that Jake's been training for actual years. He's been locked in. I'm going to be real with you guys. I'm going to be very surprised if Jake's not favorited. Yeah.
The stage is set, the lights are ready, and as Mike Tyson said earlier, when Tank Davis steps into that ring, he's coming to destroy Jake Paul. And now, with Teddy Atlas breaking it down and Tyron Woodley echoing caution, the narrative feels complete. A perfect storm of opinions, predictions, and pure anticipation.
Gotta get your predictions really quick for the Jake Paul versus Tank Davis.
I feel like it's gonna be a good fight, you know, entertaining. It's an exhibition, so we're gonna see how serious they really take it. But I don't know, they both getting a lot of money, so you know, congrats to them.
Who has the edge in this fight?
I feel like Tank has the edge for sure. You know, he's a real fighter, you know, and got skills, high IQ fighter. Regardless of the weight, you know, I've personally seen Tank, you know, spar heavyweights, you know, and even me, I spar heavyweights, you know. So the weight's not really too much, you know, for a lot of great fighters, you know. So I feel like Tank gonna get it for sure.
And when that first bell rings, all the talk, all the theories, and all the size comparisons fade away. It'll be just two men, one ring, and a single truth waiting to be discovered. Who lands first and who goes down? Because in the end, as Teddy Atlas hinted, it might not take much. Just one perfectly placed shot and boom. He knocks him out, and that's the madness behind this matchup. Two worlds colliding and only one knockout waiting to happen. So what do you think? Does Jake Paul survive the storm, or does Gervonta Tank Davis remind him what real power feels like? Drop your thoughts below, and if you love and breathe fight nights like we do, hit subscribe because this is Ring Rivalry, where every punch tells a story.